Here's one I haven't asked you. Who is your wrestler of the year? Nikkan Sports have given their award to Ozeki Shodai, describing his 2020 as a real turning point for him. A third place, a runner-up, a title, 5 special prizes, and an Ozeki promotion comprised his yield, which would also have included most wins had he so much as completed November after Asanoyama's pullout. Shodai was especially praised for his initial Tachi-ai impact, which the paper believes won him 11 bouts alone. The man himself, an avid YouTube watcher, claims he tried to work the theory behind a sprinter's start into his Tachi-ai over the summer, and made sure to strengthen his lower body too. He insists his latest injury will have no bearing on his signature style in January. Or do you think this man deserved the award? He made Ozeki too, let's not forget, and showed more consistency than Shodai, hitting double figures in all 4 completed tournaments, 6 tournaments straight when you add September and November 2019. Asanoyama fought 20 practice bouts yesterday, Monday the 14th, against the same 4 men he took on last week, winning 18, his only 2 defeats coming by push-out to Asagyokusei. Of note, given his injured right shoulder, were his attempts to fight in reverse stance, with inside left instead of inside right. "I could still go forward that way," he told reporters by phone. "I can also take a moment to firm up my stance, and when that's in the ascendancy, I can drive my opponent back with all my weight. But of course, in tournament situations I have to be alert to thrust-over attacks at the rope. It's all part of my mission to get my overall flow back." This man certainly came good at the year-end, finishing with more victories in 2020 than anyone else, including 25 from his final 30 bouts, and ending up just 1 win over Shodai away from taking 2 titles in a row. Takakesho hasn't fought any bouts in recent days, but that could all change on Friday at the first group practice session in the Kokugikan. "I think I'm almost ready to take my body there," he assures us. Asked how he feels about moving for Yokozuna, he said, "I think January will be a fine experience. It's not as if everybody gets this kind of chance, right?" But he won't be drawn on what he imagines Yokozuna to be. "Only a Yokozuna can answer that," he continues. "Ozeki are in no position to speak about it. All I do as an Ozeki is train hard, polish my skill, do my utmost for the sake of my sumo career, and then see where that gets me." His stablemate Takanosho is surely a candidate for most improved wrestler, having won 60% of his 75 bouts, the majority of which were fought against upper rankers. However, we've had some concerning news about him. Back in January 2019, when competing in Division 2, he suffered right knee ligament damage, pulled out for a few days, then came back and aggravated things. And it seems Takakesho once viewed that as a template. Well, Nikkan Sports reports that the ligament problem has recently returned, and that a specialist has advised him to have an operation. However, the higher you rise as a reward for your grueling efforts, the more scared you are of falling and losing everything. And Takanosho has actually rejected the surgeon's advice in favor of resuming practice bouts. Well, he'll say he knows his body best. As for the biggest riser of 2020, can anybody find a rival for Kota Shoho? Having begun the year at Judio 8, he scooped the 2nd Division title in March, then reeled off 3 straight winning scores in Division 1, rising to Maegashira 5 and beating 2 Sekiwake. "Getting to fight Takakesho in November was a great experience," he said on Saturday after a tough workout at his stable with recently retired colleague Kotoshogiku. "I told myself not to parry and to try and force him back, but he saw through my over-eagerness and soon slapped me down. But now I know what the final bout of the day is like, I won't be so nervous contesting it in future." He's looking forward to the arrival of high school teammate Oho in the top division, saying, "I don't view myself as the leader of the young hopes. I view myself as their competitor. Let's hope Oho and I can improve each other, and yes, it's right to say, I don't want to lose to him. And as for his overall hopes, he boldly said, no limits. I just want to go as high as I possibly can. Well, he said Yokozuna in February, didn't he? And finally, if only Mitakeumi had finished off 2020 slightly better. Fans and pundits alike are lamenting his failure to get the third Ozeki promotion of the year, after a strong March and sparkling July. He hasn't touched on his recent right foot injury though, claiming instead that he lost 6 straight in November through failing to properly execute his style. And, asked how he feels he measures up to Ozeki Takakesho, he said, Takakesho is composed, he's a master of himself, and sticks relentlessly to his preferred style of sumo. As for me, I want to stick to my good points, value the basics of push sumo, and make some new discoveries while doing so. He's promised us double figures in January. I'd really like to believe him.